Hello, we are Susan Tenna,
And Peggy Mont Lewis.
co-chairs of the Massachusetts Aging Services Network DEI Steering Committee. We are excited to share with you the first edition of the Aging Services Network DEI Steering Committee newsletter in partnership with the Massachusetts Executive Office of Elder Affairs. You are receiving this newsletter because you are a member of the Aging Services Network or an alumni of the Racial Equity Institute REI workshops on structural racism sponsored by Elder Affairs. The DEI Steering Committee was established by Elder Affairs in spring 2023 following the hosting of 8 REI Phase 1 workshops on structural racism. The committee is a means for workshop alumni from across the Aging Services Network to continue conversations on learnings about structural racism and to take action. There are currently 13 members of the committee representing 10 Massachusetts Aging Services access points and councils on aging. DEI stands for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And the aim of the DEI Steering Committee is to increase equity and address structural and institutional racism by raising awareness and providing DEI resources, technical assistance, and policy expertise to the Aging Services Network. This DEI newsletter is one of the committee's first initiatives.
The steering committee hopes that the newsletter can serve as a resource to the network and provide inspirational ideas on ways agencies might further incorporate DEI practices into their own organizations. The first newsletter edition focuses on diversity, hiring, and retention practices and highlights examples of agency practices from around the network. To develop this newsletter, the steering committee sent a DEI informational survey to members of the Aging Network to learn about agencies' DEI practices and support needs. The steering committee wishes to extend our thanks to the network for their responses. The newsletter is meant to be a tool for shared learning and collaboration. Should you wish to learn more, you will find contact information for agencies willing to discuss their practices or share template materials with other agencies listed at the bottom of the articles. Please feel free to reach out to the agency contacts for further information. The newsletter also contains a section on upcoming DEI events from around the network, including a bias incident response, engagement workshop, and a virtual speaker on microaggressions, cultural humility.
We hope you will enjoy this inaugural issue of the Aging Services Network DEI Steering Committee newsletter.